So I was almost about to not record today, but I looked in the mirror and I had this cool like Superman swirl going on with my hair, so I thought, hey, I might as well get on camera. Anyways, what's up guys, it's Nishquick, and there's been a lot of talk online, on Twitter, on YouTube, all these content creators and fans and Zelda fans are voicing their opinion on what's going on with this Tears of the Kingdom marketing cycle. It's a little weird. I wanted to put my opinion out there, and my opinion might be a little different from everyone else's, but I just want to talk about it. Me as a Zelda fan, as a Zelda veteran, as a longtime Nintendo fan. So let's talk about this. Tears of the Kingdom. Whew. This is the most hyped I have been for a video game in a while. You guys might remember me saying all throughout last year, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I'm so excited, so excited. In the back of my mind, I was even more excited for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. The sequel to Breath of the Wild. One of the biggest and most important games Nintendo's ever made. But here's the thing, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, as we knew it back then, was announced in June 2019, I think around June 15th, 2019. And ever since then, we've had drip feeds of small little information, small little bits and pieces of information, small little breadcrumbs here and there. Vague trailers, vague footage, we don't really know what's going on. We haven't had that kind of Breath of the Wild treehouse where they're like, this is the Great Plateau, this is how the game is gonna play, this is how things are gonna work. I want to talk about this marketing cycle real quick. We got the announcement, we got a really cool CG trailer, underground, Ganondorf, really dark. Next, we got the sky. We learned about the sky. Wow, what a revelation. 2 years later, we don't just get an underground, we get a sky too. But then like a year and a half later, we get very little bits of information. We just get the title, we get the release date, we get some cave paintings, and that's it. And now, February 2023, we got a Nintendo Direct, and there's still vague bits of information. We hear Ganondorf's voice, all that stuff. Still vague. What's going on here? Well, I mentioned in a video in the past that my interpretation of this marketing cycle is Nintendo's very confident with what's going on. Nintendo's very confident. And I compared it to the likes of God of War Ragnarok. Sony was very confident, Santa Monica was very confident with the quality and the impact that God of War Ragnarok was going to have as a sequel to God of War 2018. And they were right. It reviewed well, it scored well, it sold very well. Critical, commercial success and recognition was there. It hit it. Is that what's going on with Tears of the Kingdom? I feel there's a lot of confidence here, especially Aonuma actually recently gave us a little bit of information talking about the unknown Hyrule, talking about how things are going to be different, how this game will go beyond what Breath of the Wild did in terms of creativity and imagination. So that's one thing. But I have another kind of comparison, another kind of explanation I want to give. I think there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this game that they don't want to show. And I'm talking not just like gameplay spoilers, you can make all these different cars and all that stuff and vehicles. No, I'm talking about story spoilers. I think there's going to be a lot of substantial story beats in this game that are going to blow our minds and that Nintendo doesn't really want us to know. Have you guys even realized this? We don't know the name of Link's green spectral arm. We knew what the Sheikah Slate was called, maybe, I would say, more than 6 months before Breath of the Wild released. We don't know what this arm is called, and it's 2 months before release. Is it the Zonai arm? Is it the Sage's arm? Is it Link's corrupted arm? What is it called? What is this gameplay gimmick that we're going to be using called? We haven't had any utterance of the word Zonai. We haven't had any utterance of the name Ganondorf in any marketing at all. So my thing is there's going to be a lot that is going to shake up what we currently think we know about this game, and Nintendo doesn't want to spoil that. Honestly, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna make a comparison right now, and it's not a comparison you guys might really be expecting. So I compared Tears of the Kingdom marketing to God of War Ragnarok, but now I also want to compare it to something outside of video games. So let's flash back to December 2021, where one of the biggest movies of all time came out, one of the most anticipated, most hyped blockbuster film experiences ever. Spider-Man No Way Home. Remember Spider-Man No Way Home? Yeah, well, this movie was hyped for maybe about a year and a half. I remember all the coverage and the rumors about Jamie Foxx's Electro and all that being talked about on the internet all the way back dating to maybe August of 2020. Think about all that hype, all that speculation, all those rumors about the multiverse. Are Toby and Andrew going to be in the movie? Are they in the movie? Are they not in the movie? Are these leaks of Andrew Garfield on the blue screen doing his thing, saying his dialogue, is that real? Is that a Photoshop? Is Andrew Garfield lying on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon saying that it's a Photoshop, even though it looks really real? This, like, all this speculation and hype, it reminds me of Sony Pictures' secrecy with Spider-Man No Way Home. And of course, like, Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda, they aren't, like, editing characters out of the trailers like they did for Spider-Man. They aren't intentionally telling actors, don't say this, don't say that, when it's really obvious. It's a different kind of marketing, but it's a different kind of, like, secrecy as well. You know what I'm getting at? I feel like the reason they're being so silent is because they're very fearful that they don't want to let these story details come out. But I also want to talk about one more thing. Everyone is saying, this is not a good marketing cycle. This is very upsetting. This is making me lose faith. This is making me less excited. And there are people saying that this is a joke. This is crazy that Nintendo thinks they can just rehash Breath of the Wild, add the sky, add the underground, and call it a sequel. And that's why they think this marketing is a little on the backseat, a little secretive. I think, first of all, their interpretation is very wrong, because think about this. Breath of the Wild is already a playground. Me, having spent 300 hours into it, I recently just played it this weekend and I was figuring out new things that I didn't even know in the game. So yeah, I don't mind the overworld coming back. And who says that there's not going to be changes in this overworld? We've already seen changes in the overworld. Go back in the trailers and look, because there are changes in there. And on top of that, you got the overworld. You got an entire sky realm above. An entire sky realm with islands, with enemies, with puzzles, with so many weird things. You got a giant sphere flying there. You can fly giant helicopters. And not only the sky, not only the overworld, you have an underground. This underground looks to be expansive. It looks to be scary. It looks to be pretty big and pretty solid when it comes to exploration, enemies, just things to explore, discover, find, and do. So tell me again why this sequel to Breath of the Wild. Tell me again why this is glorified DLC. Because I'm curious. What makes you think that? But I will tell you this. I will end with this. Do you know what franchise we're talking about here? Do you know what series we are talking about here? Do you know the history, the 37-year-long history of the Legend of Zelda franchise? The history of excellence, perfect scores, perfect review scores, critical acclaim, commercial acclaim, fan dedication, fan appeal, and all that. Just think about it. Think about the last Zelda game that sucked. Think about the last Zelda game that disappointed. Think about the last time that Aonuma-san didn't spearhead a fantastic Legend of Zelda experience. Think about that. And tell me, when was the last time? Will Tears of the Kingdom be the first disappointment in the Zelda series? Because it's not adding anything substantial? Because it's not adding anything more than the sky and the underground? Because it's not showing trailers before the release. I don't think the fact that a lack of marketing presence is enough to say that this game isn't going to be a good game. Maybe it may not reach the heights of Breath of the Wild, but it's going to do new things. Breath of the Wild didn't have a sky. Breath of the Wild didn't have an underground. I don't think any other open world video game has had this level of verticality. And I'm talking literally verticality. Going all the way from the sky, all the way to the underground. Think about that. That is already enough for me to be excited. So yeah, I don't think this lack of trailers or lack of a Tears of the Kingdom direct or Tears of the Kingdom treehouse or anything, I don't think it's indicative to how this game is going to be, how it's going to perform, how it's going to look, how it's going to just be as a game. I don't think it's going to really affect the quality of the game. And on top of that, I think we've seen a lot, and I personally, like with Spider-Man, I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to be spoiled. Like, even though I may know that some things are going to happen because of the art book, because of obvious speculation, because of years and years of Zelda theories and all that, just like Tobey and Andrew being in Spider-Man No Way Home, I still want to have that experience where, similarly to me watching Spider-Man No Way Home in the theaters and seeing Tobey and Andrew reunite with Tom, and I want to see some really cool stuff in this game. Really cool story beats, with Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf reuniting for the first time since Twilight Princess. Think about that. I'm so excited for this game. And I think this marketing cycle is strange. It's very strange compared to other Nintendo games in recent memory and in the past. It's very strange, you have to admit. It's probably Nintendo's biggest game of all time that they're making. It's their first $70 game. And they're not really selling it, but I think there is reason behind that. I think that when this game comes out, when it reviews well, when it sells well, I think the game is going to do the talking, and that's what Nintendo always does. They let the games do the talking. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about Tears of the Kingdom's marketing? Are you not a fan of what's going on? Are you upset? Do you want more trailers? Do you want a direct? Do you want Nintendo to sell you more on the experience? Or are you sold? Are you excited to jump from the highest point of Hyrule in the sky and just fly all the way down into the underground? I want to do that in this game. I want to go all the way to the highest point in Hyrule, fly all the way down, go underground, and go into the lowest point in Hyrule. See how long it takes me to do that. That would be so much fun. I don't know about you guys, but let me know in the comments below. This is just my rambling thoughts on it, and yeah, if you enjoy this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Trying to hit 500 subscribers before the release of this awesome game, Tears of the Kingdom, so all the support is greatly appreciated, and we are honestly very close. So yeah, anyways, this is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day, and go play some great games today. And hopefully, it's a Zelda game. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.